Hi, for this video I wanted to get used to drawing with more cartoony styles, so why not draw some cute Pokemon? I absolutely love Pokemon. We've been rewatching the entire series because why not? As you can see here, I've got a whole bunch of different Pokemon jam-packed into the one drawing. The only one I knew I wanted to include was the Meowth down at the front. I think that scene of him playing with the ball of wool is just absolutely adorable. So for this drawing, I am kind of using it as a study to get used to drawing cartoons, but in saying that, I really just wanted to focus on the shapes. Sometimes when I'm drawing cartoons on my own, I tend to get the proportions a bit wrong and it doesn't look right. It doesn't look as cutesy. So I just wanted to get that proportion with this drawing. So I thought, why not shade it differently? I don't need to shade it in a cartoony style. I just want the lines to be the cartoony style. So that's when I came up with the dots. Oh man.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
There's a lot of dots. I've never really done stipple work on this scale before. I've done little bits and pieces. I just thought doing a full stipple piece would be fun. And my oh my, let me tell you, it took me 3 days to get all these dots done. 3 days. The first half was pretty quick, but then I got to the Snorlax. I wanted him to have a different tone to everyone else. That was a lot of dots. Would I do it again? Yes. I really like how it turned out, but oh my god, so many dots. It's gone crazy. I wanted to also just include some really fun shadows in this. I did try to keep that more to the cartoony side as well, where they would cell shade, and I tried to do that with where I place the dots. I do have a couple of little areas where it does taper out a little bit, so it's not quite that cell shading, so it's a little bit smoother between the tones, but mainly I have kept them quite separate. Who is your favourite Pokemon? I do have a soft spot for Meowth, but my partner says that's just because he's a cat. So I think as a kid I really liked Charizard, but I was a bit of a weird dragon girl, so that's not really a surprise there for me. I used to watch the Pokemon anime when I was growing up. I never really played any of the games though. I ended up trying to play one of them in high school, but I never finished it. I am definitely more of a fan of the show rather than the games. Maybe one day I will return to the games and try to complete one. That is an issue for future me. So for the Bellsprout, I wanted to include some extra little details in its little leaf. Just for fun, why not add those little lines just to indicate the leaf structure there. In general, I thought adding the Bellsprout was a cute addition. No one ever suspects the Bellsprout. Bellsprout is more powerful than you think.
Bellsprout. Bellsprout.
The Gyarados was an interesting one to try and navigate. And I didn't want him just to be white like the Bellsprout around him. I did want to add some more tonal difference in the drawing. I did include some spaced out dots to tone it a little bit so it's just not pure white. The mouth was really fun though, having that gradient of dots from darker to lighter as it came out towards the front of the mouth, and then keeping that definition between the mouth and the tongue was really fun too. The Gengar also was full of dots. Again, I wanted him to be a different tone, and I wanted him to be darker than the Snorlax. So that meant a lot more dots, a lot closer together, and even though it's a small space, compared to the Snorlax, he is not that big, but there are just so many dots. And then I had to make sure the shadows stood out from him as well. So there is just a lot of dots overall. There are just so many dots. If you can count how many individual dots there are in this illustration, I'll send you a print of this for free. Because that takes a lot of patience and dedication to do that. Originally I wanted to have everything really thin lines, really based on the line work, but I found once the dots and different tones went in, I wanted to have a bit more definition between the different characters, so I did include some thicker lines. I didn't include them everywhere, there are some areas that are still thin. In the end, I think that was a good decision to thicken up the lines. It really helped the characters stand out from each other, and it gave it a bit more of a dynamic feeling. I really like how it turned out. I was a little bit unsure when I came up with the idea to thicken the lines. I thought it might turn out bad, but I am actually really happy with how it looks. Here's what you've been waiting for, the final shots of the piece. This piece was a lot of fun, even though it did drive me insane because I did dots for 3 days straight. I did actually enjoy it, and I hope you did too. If you want to watch another video where I go over my drawing process, please click the link that's on screen now. Thank you so much for watching.